Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, the 15th day of October. Here we go. Today, a halacha about how to use the telephone on Shabbos for things like medical emergencies. These guidelines are coming from Rav Simcha Bunim Cohen in a book called The Shabbos Home. That's the name of the book, The Shabbos Home. First of all, he says, if you're making a telephone call and it's an emergency, and time is of the essence, then just do whatever you got to do. Because if time is of the essence and it's a real emergency, then just make the phone call. Don't even think about other details which might waste critical time. Then, he says, in a non-emergency, and these guidelines will now apply to a good old-fashioned corded landline in your house. Remember that cell phones, work kind of differently. And you'll have to, if you know that you're in a situation where you may end up using a cell phone for an emergency phone call or a non-emergency phone call on Shabbos, then try to ask your rabbi in advance, because some of these guidelines will have to change for that. For a good old-fashioned corded landline phone, first of all, if it's a non-emergency situation, it's best to try to get a non-Jew to make the phone call, because it's a non-emergency. It's like a broken arm, and you can go in an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours and nothing's lost. So if possible, try to get a non-Jew to make that phone call. If no non-Jew is available to make the phone call, then different parts of the phone calling should be done like this. First of all, if you're lifting that good old-fashioned phone off of its hook, then you should do that with a shinui, with some kind of change, so you're not directly, opening that circuit that's making the phone call begin. So that would be something like knocking it off the receiver, from where it usually sits with your elbow or something like that. To do the dialing, it should be done also with the shinui, because electrical things are happening when you do that. So if you do it with some kind of change, then it's a little less problematic. Halachically, a change would mean that you dial with your, let's say, your knuckles instead of your fingertips, or with the tip of a spoon, instead of your fingertip, something like that. Speaking on the phone, well, you're going to speak regular, because there is no other way to do your talking on the phone, so you'll just have to talk. If, let's say, the doctor is going to need to call you back, so you'll need the phone back on the hook so that you can get his call when he calls back, then try, if possible, to return the phone to its place also with some kind of shinui, with some kind of change, so that you're not directly doing the regular work. If there's no shinui possible, and the only way to get it back on its hook is regular, then do it regular if you have to. Switching over to another topic just before we end, a microphone in general, the halachas, two easy short halachas for that is, don't turn on a microphone on Shabbos. And also, if a microphone is already on Shabbos, that does not make it permissible to speak into the microphone. This was a very big question back in the day when some shuls that were Orthodox still used microphones, and I think that's disappearing in a lot of shuls. Not all. And some shuls have very, very special setups, on how to use their microphone. In an Orthodox shul on Shabbos, please consult with those rabbis in those shuls about, how they're doing it. But generally speaking, the rule is that you should try to not speak into a microphone on Shabbos, even if it was turned on before Shabbos. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.